Hello, everyone. Okay, I have been saying this for many years, even before I joined social media. I always say pay attention to what happens in February because it is that 1 month that is going to predict what happens during the rest of the year. Before Trump attacked Iran, some people on social media called it. Don Lemon sounded the alarm on YouTube. Actor Terrence Howard predicted it on TikTok. And what happened on February 27th? Trump attacks Iran. And I really don't like talking about politics, but with a president like Trump, I don't think a lot of us have a choice. We have to keep our eye on the news all the time. But it's really exhausting for me because I really don't like talking about politics, even though that's all I've been doing lately, it seems. Now, before I share what the media is not telling us, I will share what I am hearing on the news. I am hearing that the Democrats are mad because Trump attacked Iran without the approval of Congress. I am hearing that the Iranians here in the US are happy that the Ayatollah is gone. I also heard that we lost 4 soldiers already. And may I remind everyone, this is why we celebrate Memorial Day in May, because of the soldiers we lost in wars over the past 250 years. What the media is not telling us is the relationship between the US and Iran has been a rocky one since the 1950s, before many of us were born. History is very important. You cannot ignore it. If you want to educate yourself about the history of Iran and and the history behind the U.S. Iranian relationship, you can find videos on YouTube. There is a video posted by BBC News titled "How Iran and the U.S. Became Enemies." I can post the link to the YouTube video, but if you are watching this on TikTok, you won't be able to click on the link. That video, the BBC News video, was posted less than a week ago. When you factor in the history of the relationship between Iran and the US and what is going to happen after Iran closes the Strait of Hormuz, I have to come to the conclusion that Trump attacking Iran was a bad idea. But then many people are going to ask, well, if the Iranians are happy and acting like Trump is a hero, how can it be a bad idea? Because of history. So, to keep it short, I can't go into details. Iran discovered it had oil reserves in 1908. Instead of them controlling it, the British took control over it. And I have to say this, the British started a lot of chaos in this world. When I watch YouTube videos to find out why Israel and Palestine have been fighting for the past 80 plus years before I was born too, it started with the British. Now, I am learning that Iran and the US have been enemies for a very long time, and it started with the British. So, anyway, Iran found out that it had oil reserves in 1908. The British was making a lot of money, but Iran was not benefiting from it. Fast forward to 1950, 1951, the prime minister of Iran at that time, his name was Mohammad Mossadegh. I don't know if I'm pronouncing his name right, so if I'm mispronouncing it, sorry. Mossadegh wanted to nationalize their oil industry so that Iran can keep some of that wealth. I actually agree with Mossadegh. That makes sense to me. It's your oil, it's on your land. The British had an issue with that, so it asked its ally, the US, for help. The Brits and the US teamed up to go after Mossadegh. He is out. The Shah of Iran, Pahlavi, is now in power, and he set up a democratic government. Under his rule, women had rights, including the right to vote. However, many Iranians felt the country was losing its Islamic values. So in 1979, a revolution occurred. The Shah flees the country. The Ayatollah is now in power. And Iran's government changes from a democracy to a theocracy. Okay, I'm just going by what I'm watching because I'm trying to do my research, and I'm just trying to get some information and to understand what the hell is going on. And you don't understand what's going on today unless you understand what went on in the past. Okay, so the past helps you to clarify what's going on in the present. Okay, so I'm just doing my best to understand. All right. So in 1979, a revolution occurred. The Shah flees the country. The Ayatollah is now in power. And Iran's government changes from a democracy to a theocracy. The Ayatollah declares Iran to be enemies of the US and Israel. Now, when Iranians come on TV and thank Trump, my question is, if you wanted rights, if you wanted peace, why was there a revolution back in 1979? Why did the Iranians get rid of the Shah? Why did they get rid of their democracy? No government is perfect, but when you bring in the Ayatollah, who is a strong Muslim, he is against the US. He doesn't recognize Israel to be a state. When you bring him in, when you agree to a theocratic government, that's nobody's problem but Iran. That's Iran's problem. That's the Iranians' problem. If people died under this regime, how is that our problem? It is not fair to us that we lost 4 soldiers, and according to Trump, we are going to lose more. Now, think of it like this. The U.S. has democratic government. We have elections. Everyone has the right to vote. But most Americans identify as Christians. But because of the Constitution, everyone has rights, including people who do not identify as Christian. Iran could have had a democratic government even though the majority identify as Muslim. But they chose to have a revolution back in 1979. Now, I watched the news this morning. The newspapers are reporting that the next leader of Iran might be the son of the Ayatollah, who is a lot like his father. Another reason why Trump attacking Iran was a bad idea. I'm not hearing, well, the regime is gone, so we are going to go back to holding elections. That's not what I'm hearing. Then you have the Strait of Hormuz. Because of the attacks, Iran closed the strait. 4th reason why Trump attacking Iran was a bad idea. Gas prices here has gone up already. I think it was 4 or 5 cents a gallon. But what the American media is not telling us is not only does it negatively affect the US economy, it also affects India's economy and China's economy. India is the world's largest democracy. The population is 1.4 billion. And the US gets along with India. China has another 1.4 billion people, 1.5 billion. I don't know, don't quote me on it. And what happened in Venezuela had a negative impact on China's access to oil. So the US is screwing over China again. And the US needs to get along with China because some of the cheapest, some of the most affordable goods sold in the US are made in China. All I can say is if you are happy that 2025 is gone, you should not be looking forward to 2026. And I am not here to convince Trump supporters of anything. Whatever it is that Trump does, they are fine with it. But there is a growing number of people hopping on social media talking about how we should have voted for Hillary, we should have voted for Kamala. And my reaction to that is we did. Clinton got the popular vote in 2016, and 71 million people voted for Harris in 2024. We are a divided country, and Trump is the main reason. He is not the only reason, but he is the main reason. Thanks for watching.